Yo, Simpa back with a video. Finally, after all this time, I've been really busy. I've been picking up some extra hours at work, so that's one of the reasons why I haven't been making videos lately. Also, I haven't really had a really, I haven't really thought I could justify enough time to make a video. Uh, Even though I could talk about chapters each week, but I figured the last few my videos were done really quick, so I figured that I just do a little, get a longer one this time. And before I dive too deep into this video, I want to give a shout out to my first Patreon member, uh, Jacob. So here's your shout out, Jacob. I thank you. Now on to the video. And, oh yeah, one more thing. I got this shirt. It's the 25th anniversary for One Piece. I saw these on Facebook. It was being advertised, so I got myself a few. So I'm wearing this while I'm talking about One Piece, and I figured it'd be very appropriate. I really like this shirt too. It's I think it's only missing like maybe a couple characters. Anyways, I'm gonna be talking about chapters 1045 to 1050 in this video. I was gonna try to get it done before go up to 1049, but since 1050 is out now, I'm adding 1050 to this list, and I have a lot to talk about 1050, and I have a lot of notes for these 6 chapters. So I hope you bear with me. I fully expect this video to be about 40 minutes at least, but we'll see if I can get it less than that. And I think, I'm not sure if I said this already, but I do have a lot of notes, so I apologize if I'm not so focused, but I figured, well, with editing, who's going to really care and who's really going to notice too much. So it should be fine, I think. So first off, with chapter 1045, we get next level. And this is right after Luffy has awakened his Devil Fruit, and Kaido points out that Luffy's awakening is more closely to a Zoan's. And we get some new attacks from Luffy. All these are pretty hilarious. There's a Gum Gum Escape Rocket. Let's see here. Escape Rocket. I don't remember Escape Rocket that much. I do apologize. And then we get Gum Gum. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, yeah, Gum Gum Escape Rocket. That's when he was inside Kaido when he was trapped. And he just throws out his arms out of Kaido's eyes, which, oh my god, that was, oh, my eyes just kind of hurt just thinking about it. Then we get Gum Gum Giant, and we get Gum Gum Jump Rope. And I just loved Gum Gum Jump Rope. It's just hilarious. It just, Luffy got bitten by Kaido, and Luffy just grabs two ends of Kaido and just uses him like a rope. And oh jeez, think about Luffy's awakening was just the absolute best because here he gets blasted away with Kaido's blast breath all off of Onigashima, and he uses he quickly moves his feet really fast, and he runs on air back to Onigashima, and, and people had commented on other channels and stuff that Luffy's basically a cartoon now, and you know what? I'm loving it. It's just hilarious. And as he gets to the Onigashima, Kaido smashes his head through the floor, which is the ceiling for everyone else below, and Luffy's eyes basically just in cartoon fashion just popped out of his head, and we get Kid. Wait a minute, yeah, we get Kid, Law, Chopper, Nami, and Tama. All react in the same way with their eyes popping out of their heads in that cartoon fashion, and it was really weird seeing for Kid and Law, and Nami was pretty funny. Tama was pretty funny, and Chopper, well, it was okay. Then Luffy briefly loses fifth gear, but Luffy manages to get back into fifth gear after thinking about Momo, Tama, Kinemon, and Pedro, and that's why I'm going to talk about the Will of P real quick. The Will of P is really ridiculous. I forgot about Pound from Whole Cake because I don't really like Whole Cake. I'm unpopular opinion about that, and I don't like Whole Cake because of Big Mom, because she's not a very good antagonist. In fact, Luffy's main enemy on Whole Cake was Katakuri, not Big Mom. So that kind of made things kind of annoying right there. So, and then Pell, he survived, but since Alabasta, Pell hasn't done anything. So, why is Pell still alive? Now with Pedro though, he died, and it actually means something, and I'm glad that Oda hasn't done anything with Pedro. And so that whole Will of P, people say is stronger than Will of D, and I have to pretty much agree, because out of everyone with the P in their name, like Pell, Pound, and probably a couple others, have all survived. Pedro was the only one that has died. So I do like that. Luffy gets back into fifth gear after thinking about Momo, Tama, Kinemon, and Pedro. I was just reminded of this. I actually forgot about this briefly. Right? Well, I forgot about it was from this chapter, but right when Luffy's running back at Kaido, Kaido slams his kanabo into the back of Luffy's head and leaves imprint of his kanabo all over Luffy's head and his face. So you got like spikes all over the front of his head, and just, oh dang, that is just... Luffy might be made of rubber, but that's gotta hurt. Now we get to chapter 1046, which is titled Raizo. At the beginning of this chapter, Kaido and Luffy exchange words and blows. Right now, I forgot what it was because I just went through 1050 again before as of this video recording. But everyone tries to escape the flames, and Raizo. Oh, when this chapter came out, I was a little disappointed that we took so much action away from Luffy and Kaido. But now it makes sense to me, and I'm kind of glad that this happened. But anyways, yeah, everyone tries to escape the flames, and Raizo releases the water he collected while he was at Zunisha, and Jinbei directs it right back to lower levels, and they start out at the fourth level of Onigashima, and I gotta see this in the anime. I haven't really been watching the anime for One Piece because mostly I just watch a dub, but I do watch a few key episodes here and there. They're really important. Like I did check out episode 1015, which that was a really good episode. Then after this, we cut over to Yamato urging Momo to create flame clouds to keep Onigashima aloft, since it will fall if he doesn't. And this was really cool when I first read this. Right at the end of the very last scene of the chapter, Luffy catches a lightning bolt and is about to strike Kaido with it, and dang, that was just such an awesome thing to see at the end of the chapter, and I'm curious to see how that's going to be once it gets animated. So that might be like another one of those things that I will check out the anime for right away. Now we get to chapter 1040. Yeah, chapter 1047. I almost forgot what chapter we were on. Chapter 1047 is titled The Sky Over the Capital. My cat might join me in this video. Maybe. Are you come up here, Ashra? Anyways, at the start of 1047. Oh, yep. At the start of 1047, Momo thinks back to just before his mom sent him 20 years into the future, which is current time, the present time. And I do want to know more about Toki. And I get the feeling we're not going to know much more about her, uh, probably anytime soon, if ever. I feel like everything we know about her is what we're going to know about her, but who knows? Maybe when we get to Laugh Tale, we'll get all the everything, including stuff with Toki. And anyways, Momonosuke reflects on the fact that he's failing her because he's not managing to create those flame clouds to keep Onigashima aloft. Kaido, of course, dodges the lightning easily that Luffy throws at him. And this is where we get solid confirmation that Roger did not have powers. Did not have devil fruit powers. So anyone who ever insisted that Roger had a devil fruit up to this point, even though it was pretty much obvious that he didn't have a devil fruit, well, here it is, 100% spelled out. So, yeah, I I knew that Roger did not have a devil fruit as far back as probably maybe Sabaody when we met Rayleigh. So probably even around that time that I figured he did not have devil fruit. But of course, other people have insisted that he did, and he had the gum fruit, and so I never really bought into that. But anyways, Kaido also states here, abilities alone cannot conquer the world. Only Haki can transcend all. And this is here where we get the people sending the sky boats up in Wano from the fire festival. Now those sky boats, I keep wanting to think they're like just the sky lanterns or whatever. Is that the same thing? Um, I haven't really looked into that, but I feel like that might be the same thing, maybe. But I don't really know. Anyways, also the nail that Hiyori planted in Orochi, which, considering the fact that he did not feel pain from the nail, probably that she didn't put it right into his skin. She just probably planted it like somewhere in his clothes or something. And then after the nail comes loose, Orochi transforms and is about to attack her. And Luffy makes a giant fist and tells Momo to move Onigashima since since Onigashima is in the way. And he's about to just bring his fist down on Kaido full force. Yeah. Jeez, are you shedding? Then we get to chapter 1048, titled 20 Years. So uh, here in this chapter, Kaido challenges Luffy and assures him that he will not move, and he even lights up and becomes a flame dragon, and the flames surrounding him are so intense that it incinerates the remaining horn of Onigashima. So I don't think I noticed that the first time when I was reading through the story, reading through the chapter. But after I reread it, I did notice it, that horn was basically just incinerated. And also, Kaido says that he won't move because Luffy's fist will melt away before his fist could even touch him. And Luffy tells him that he learned to punch him in a way without actually physically making contact. So his Ryo that he learned in Act 2 at the prison, I forget which region it was. That's going to help him defeat him. And here we are showing the last 20 years of Wano. We see the daimyo go to war against Kaido and Orochi shortly after Oden's death. And it's shown how the country degrades, like the water gets polluted, the crops won't grow, and we even see a noose in a couple panels. So we see people are. So that indicates that people are killing themselves, so they don't have to suffer through that. And then we get to the whole thing with the little smiles. And back in the present, Orochi is about to strike at Hiyori, but Denjiro arrives and cuts off his remaining head, and hopefully Orochi can't regrow his head, because when Kaido first cut off his head, I thought for sure that Orochi was dead, but he wasn't. So, but now hopefully, since he's been beheaded so many times, I'm hoping that this is the end for Orochi. Not just for his reign. His reign is over as of that act from Denjiro. But I'm hoping that he's actually dead. And that's actually very fitting, because back in Act 2, he saved Orochi from Zoro. And here... Oh, and also, that's also another thing that's poetic. He struck down Komurasaki when she slapped Orochi. So now, this time it was for real. Now we get to chapter 1049, and I had some theories about 1050 which were not true. I'll just go ahead and say, actually, no. I thought, well, I'll just say that I thought the curtains were going to close at the end of chapter 1050, and that's basically what I thought. And well, that didn't happen. So, anyways, but 1049, the world that should be. He, uh, we get Kaido's past shown from the time he's 10 years old up until he's about 40 or close to 40. It's kind of hard to know exactly how old he was um, in those flashbacks because they were jumping all over the place. But the last one was after Odin's death, but we don't know how much after Odin's death it was. But we do know that Yamato was talking about Joy Boy, and the only time Yamato could know about Joy Boy is from Odin's journal that she was carrying around. So I'm not really sure when she found it. I can't remember. I'll probably have to go back and look at previous chapters to probably know if it was even stated at all. People are shown all over. Here we also get to see people all over Wano and Onigashima as Luffy brings down his fist on Kaido. Oh, dang. And Momo manages to make flame clouds just barely in time as Luffy's punch sends Kaido going all the way through the mainland of Wano, and we actually see how Kaido's it's like does like a blurring effect, the whole thing from like Dragon Ball. That's the best way I could describe it. He just goes really fast, and it's insane that Luffy's punch was able to do that. We see Kaido thinking back to the rest of his conversation that he was having with King earlier about the about Joy Boy's identity, and that Joy Boy is the person who will defeat him. And King says, "Well, in that case, we probably will never see him." Well, they did see him. Now, chapter 1050. I got a lot more notes here, so again, I apologize for how much notes and how much I'll be looking at my notes. It's just that I got like so much to say, and I just want to keep things somewhat concise. Well, we start off the chapter with the narrator coming on as Yamato catches Luffy, and she congratulates Momo and Luffy on their accomplishments, with of course Luffy defeating Kaido and Momo safe bringing Onigashima safely down to the ground. Oh, and this chapter 1050 is titled Honor. I guess I should have let off with that, but But here we're getting to why it's called honor. And here, after learning Yasui died for Wano and for her own sake, so she could be genuinely happy in the future, Toko changes her message from "I want to see Daddy" to "Daddy, thank you." And Tengu reflects that there is no greater honor to a warrior than to receive thanks for their sacrifice. So that is a very emotional moment, and it's a very good moment. I do like that moment. I like it a lot. And then news gets around Onigashima that Luffy beat Kaido, and everyone celebrates. And we see like, well, like I said, everyone celebrates. We do definitely get a highlight of Nami and Tama celebrating. However, though, not everyone is celebrating. Like Chopper, since now the battle is over, Chopper's being swarmed with patients, medical patients, not the other patients, like being patient with people. Not that, just like being swarmed with people who need medical needs. And Miyagi comes in and offers to help. We get a scene here with Momo Momonosuke communicating with Zunisha and says he will not open the borders yet, and Zunisha just says that he will respect his decision. Then we can see like the remaining Beast Pirates about like how they're really being stubborn, and they don't believe it for a second that Kaido is defeated, because well, they are an Emperor's crew. So I guess in their mind, there's no way Kaido could have been defeated. Frankie is about to go on for another round, and Brook stops him. And Yamato steps up and says, if they continue to advance, she will destroy them after being treated once already. Well, but you want up here or not, Cat? Oh, I forgot to mention this. At the beginning of the chapter, it was shown. We saw a little diagram of the land of Wano, and there's two holes, one for Big Mom, one for Kaido, and then there's cracks branching upwards from the magma pool that was underground. So I knew what was going to happen, but I'm sure other people knew what's going to happen. If you didn't know, I'm kind of shocked. I mean, the writing was on the wall. As soon as I saw that, I knew what was going to happen. And anyways, here we get to see. I think it's Kaido and Big Mom are. Actually, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was both Kaido and Big Mom shown floating in the magma pool. And back in Udon, we see Babanuki. And that's one thing. I wouldn't have remembered any of some of these names if the characters in the chapter did not say it, because it's been a long time since we've seen Babanuki. I think since like the end of Act 2 that we saw Babanuki, or beginning of Act 3, and that was like a long time ago at this point. So some of these names I would have now remembered, but I only know them because the characters are saying it. So anyways, Babanuki and others at the in Udon witnesses the underwater volcanic eruption, which was spectacular. And think back, there was only one time in One Piece we see a volcanic eruption, and I think that that might have been the manga and the anime. I definitely remember it being the anime when they were going down to Fishman Island. But that was the last time we've seen an eruption. So seeing one here again, that's pretty cool. It's definitely something. And I wonder if that whole volcanic eruption and down when they were going on Fishman Island actually was foreshadowing for this. As the eruption goes on, the narrator concludes about Luffy's victory, and we see, and then Momo flies as a dragon to the flower capital and says that Kaido has been defeated, and he reverts to his human form, and we don't see what he looks like because there's there's dust, and the first one to emerge from the dust is Hiyori, which the people recognize as Komurasaki, and they're asking, "Oh, how's that possible?" When they just held a funeral for her, but they realize it's her because her beauty cannot be matched by anyone. And then Denjiro, or Kyoshiro, emerges afterwards and says that the whole thing is going to be like a very long story. So that was 10:45 to 10:50, and I did that in, how long was I talking? Over 40 minutes. Let's see how long I can get this done with editing. I'm just gonna go on my a couple comments that I'm gonna address. I've been reading and hearing a lot of people complaining about how Luffy beat Kaido with a punch, and it was not with just a single punch. There were multiple rounds. There was the Akazaya 9. There was the whole thing with Roof Piece, with the team up with Kid, Killer, Law, Zoro, and Luffy. Then there was the Yamato challenge Kaido briefly, and heck, even Momonosuke got a bite in, and that bite in grand scheme of things might have not done a whole lot, but hey, all these blows took their toll. And I'm going to address up like another point. I recently heard that from another video and in a bunch of comments that Kaido never really shows signs of being exhausted, and and I will say that we did get like a little minor signs, but you know what? If you think about like Whitebeard and Big Mom, did they show much signs that they were going to be defeated? No, they didn't. Whitebeard died on his feet. Seriously, Whitebeard died standing. I mean, who does that? I mean, that's just like awesome by itself. So, you get an emperor dying on his feet, and you get another emperor defeated by kid-in-law, and the only reason why they defeated her is because they did not have fear for her, and they kept pounding at her until she went down into through the ground, and until she was defeated. And even then, she was still not really winded. So, emperors are monsters. So, Whitebeard, Big Mom, Kaido, all three of these emperors went down without feeling much exhaustion. So if you're going to complain about Kaido, complain about Big Mom and Whitebeard also. I just want you to keep that in mind. I'm being real here. Because, I mean, come on, people. Think about it. And this chapter, I mean, this fight has been going on since chapter like 990 something. I can't remember the exact chapter number, but it was about like 990, maybe like 992, or maybe 980 something. I can't remember. But this fight has been going on for like 60 chapters. I'm ready to move on. I want to move on so much. I've been reading weekly. I've been weekly with One Piece since 992, but I started One Piece 8 years ago. I am ready for this story to start reaching its natural conclusion. Now, as for what I think about this whole thing, Wano is not a 3-act structure. From the research that I've done with 3-act structures, the second act is the longest. We get Act 1, which is about 25% from what I researched, and Act 2 is 50%, and Act 3 is the remaining 25%. Now those numbers might vary from like maybe like a couple percent, like it might be like Act 2 might be 54% or like 49% or something, but it's usually around 50%. And same thing with the first act and the third act. Those are always around 25%, give or take. Let's give or take a few percent. So one is not a 3-act structure. It's not a 5-act structure either. It's not going to be 5 acts. If it was going to be a 5-act structure, the only way it would have been natural for it to be 5 acts is if Act 3 ended when Roof Piece began. But Act 3 did not end with Roof Piece. Act 3 kept going. So, how do I think Act 3 will end? Act 3 started with Oden's life. We saw the whole thing with Oden. Act 3 will end next chapter when we see Momonosuke's face reveal. We saw Odin's life and how it ended basically in failure. And him not be able to achieve his accomplish anything. But Momonosuke is the one that's going to bring things, and he's going to be the one to succeed. So once we see Momonosuke's adult form, even though he won't be mentally an adult, he will appear as an adult, and he'll appear like Odin did, and that's when we'll get the closure of Act 3. Oh yeah, and there's a whole thing with the Shamisen. We might see a little thing. I don't know how that's gonna be. How we're gonna. I mean, we might see like a bit of a party, and Hiyori picking up the Shamisen and playing, and that the curtains will close right there. But I don't know. But I do think that Act 3 will end next chapter. And as of recording this video, it is Wednesday night. I will try to have this video uploaded by still Wednesday night, or at the very latest, like Thursday. But I'm going to try to have this video before people could start reading chapter 1051. Although I think the spoilers are already out for 1051. I will not look into those spoilers though, because I don't want to know spoilers. I want to read the official release. So even though when on Friday people read chapter 1051 and they will be able to confirm that yes, I'm right, or no, I'm not right, I won't know for sure personally until Sunday, because that's the official release. And I have a feeling these next few chapters we're going to get bounties for the warlords and some other things. And we'll also see then we'll get to new Straw Hat bounties, I'd say by like July. And I'm really curious about those new bounties for the Straw Hats, because I want to know how close I am with my predictions. Anyways, that's enough of my rambling. I've been on here for over 40 minutes. Been on for about 50 minutes now. So I will see you guys later. If you want to if you like this video, like it, comment, and subscribe if you haven't. And if you got money to spare, consider supporting me on Patreon.